something I've decided to do on my Caddy is slowly add options that the car never came with. And an example of that are fog lights. So right now my Cadillac has just normal turn signals and doesn't have fog lights. I bought the set of headlight, I guess fog light buckets on eBay. And those look, in pretty decent shape. And then a subscriber named John bought me the new lenses, gaskets, and bulbs for it, which is awesome. So the only thing I'm missing now is there's a knob on the headlight switch that turns the fog lights on, and I don't have that. So I'm still looking for that, but in the meantime, what I can do is I can probably put the new lenses in, the new gaskets, and the new bulbs. I can get them to, I can test them, get them to work, and then I bet I can put them in the car and just plug in the blinkers and the park lights. So there's three wires coming out of here, and if you were to look inside here, there's one big large bulb for the fog lights, and then there's going to be a dual bulb for the turn signals and the brake lights, and I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So you just have three. So we'll see which one runs which one and go from there, but first let's take it apart and look at all the stuff inside. Here's a little fast forward of what one will look like when it's done. So this has a new lens, a new gasket, and new light bulbs. I kind of wish I had a better, piece of chrome to go around it, but since it's so low to the ground, I don't think anybody's really going to care that much. But we'll go ahead and take this apart, and I'll show you the steps that I took to get the thing working. I had to clean ground like 8 different places. Alright, we'll start by taking all these screws out that take the lens and the front chrome housing off. I'm missing one, which kind of bugs me, but you know what? It is what it is. That's what happens when you get used parts. So you can see that you have the lens, which this one's just complete garbage because it has a hole in it. But you know what? The reproduction lenses are actually, I'm actually surprised. They have the same guide fog lamp A556 stamped on them, so they look very similar. They'll work out. So take that off. So it looks like somebody spray bombed the crap out of these housings, which I kind of wish they hadn't done that, but this one has a gasket on it where the other one didn't. I don't know what in the world. I think these things used to be all rusty and they spray bombed them so they look better on eBay, so me as an unsuspecting buyer would buy them. So yeah, they've been spray bombed. They probably didn't even get prepped, to tell you the truth. Which would explain why I have to do so much work in order to get these suckers to actually work. So what you want to do is get a 1/2-inch wrench. So this bolt in the back is 1/2 inch. Yeah, these are pretty pitted and crappy, but they will work. So this bolt kind of holds in the inside element, and this one's going to need to work like crazy, just because I can tell already. Put that aside, and what you can do is you can kind of slide this out, and you can kind of feed these wires, these 3 wires, back through. You don't have to do it all the way through, but it makes, doing this a lot easier. You just do one at a time. There we go. Okay, so with that out of the way, you can see here's the housing. This one's a lot worse than the other side was. It's got a lot more corrosion on it and stuff like that, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. What I had to do on the other one to get it clean is I had to clean off this part right here. I had to clean off the outside edge of this. I had to clean off the back edge of that because it's painted. And then I had to pretty much disassemble this whole thing and clean that all up. And then also I had to clean off the little nubs that are inside the inside of here using a pencil eraser. So let's start with with this one, I can't even move it. So sadly we're gonna have to probably break it, but that's okay because it's not any good anyway. Whoop, there goes that. Let's try to get this out without, you know what I can do now? I can take, because I got the bulb broken, I can take it off under here. Maybe. I might let this one sit a little bit. These are pretty crappy. There we go. Not one. Alright, so now we can take this out. Oh, that's how that goes. It clips onto that. That makes sense. Alright, so the other one was unclipped. We'll go ahead and unclip this one as well. So that just kind of holds the wires in place so they don't rub. And now we can take this white one. So instead of removing it from the clip, I'm basically just going to pull it a little bit farther out. And yeah, that bulb is just toast. There we go. Bulb is out. Trash. Ooh, that's pretty crappy in there. At least the spring looks like it's all in one piece. So we'll clean off this. Then we can clean off the outside of the housing with a grinder. And then we can clean off the inside with sandpaper, which we might have to use for the other side too. So you see the inside little thing is now clean, looking a little better. I wish I could get inside of here with the wire wheel on the grinder, but I can't. After you have as much as you can clean, you can go ahead and put the bulbs in. This one goes in about the same as a normal bulb, but this special bulb it's kind of a neat bulb. It has, I don't know if you can see in there, it has dual filaments, but the original bulb has this cool dual filament. So I'm going to use two of the reproduction bulbs just because it keeps it about the same looking. And I'm also using two brand new bulbs right here for the parking lights. So the easiest way to put this bulb in is going to be hard to capture it on camera, but these little springs behind each one of these tabs, and you push this up in order to kind of make them get free. And then these will move up and it'll allow, you see how this moves up? It'll allow you to put the bulb in where it's supposed to be. The difficult part is lining it up so that once you attach it into place, the two contacts in the back match the two contacts inside the housing. So I'm going to do that. I probably won't record it because it's going to take a little while. And it should pop together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the bench and test it. Make sure that all these things work. I have the ground wire attached to the back of this housing. Hopefully that is enough to make all this stuff work. Like I said, the last one I had to fight like crazy to get it to work, but this one's a little cleaner inside. So we're going to turn it to 12 volts. This right here, I'll get it to face you so you can see. This should be the parking light. Okay. And then the blue is the turn signal, which is not working, of course, and Right, so I bet if I change my ground to this, it'll suddenly start working. Okay, so that's purple, that's blue, that's the turn signal. So that's what the turn signal looks like. And then purple is the fog light. Why in the world is that not working? The other one does. That makes no sense at all. You know, I bet those inside contacts aren't in there all right. All right, after cleaning it up a little bit more, we have blue, which is the turn signal. And then we have purple, which is the fog light. Exciting stuff. And then the park light. So that should be good enough to put back in the car, or put back in the housing, with the new lens and the new gasket and all that kind of stuff. Alright, there's the finished product. They're not perfect, but they're good enough. For my Cadillac, at least. You won't ever see anything but the outside edges. And if I, go on eBay and find something with a little bit nicer of an edge, I'll buy it. But at this point, I'm okay with this right now. But they work and they do what they're supposed to do, and the bulbs are new, so the wiring's good. We should be good. Now all I just need to find is a headlight switch that has the little switch for the fog lights. Alright, I've been waiting on parts for the fog lights, so I figured I would do a little video on this. These are wheel skirts. So here's the one off, this is the driver's side, the one off my car, and this is the one I scored on eBay. And if you'll notice, if you look right here, the one on my car, that corner is pretty much gone. The rest of the skirt's fine, but the one that I got off of eBay is in a lot better shape. But the one that I got off of eBay, if we turn this over, besides it being blue, it has all this trim is just completely destroyed on it. So the one on mine is actually in good shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the trim off of this, put this trim on this one, and then use this one on my car. It should be pretty easy, but before I actually am able to put the trim on, I have to paint it. As expected, most of the studs that hold this trim on broke. Actually, on this one, all of them broke. Luckily I don't need this trim, but the other trim I will have to do some work on. But the cool part about it is that I don't believe these trims are held on by anything other than just getting pushed in. Like, I'll show you. So here's a trim. You just push it in, it kind of fits in there and it holds. So all I have to do is I have to pretty much knock the studs out. This one's already out, and just put new studs in, which should be, fairly simple to do. I think I have a method that I hope will work out. Yeah, this is all that's left inside. It's just a flat stud with threads on the end, and of course they're all broken. Looking at this rocker, it looks really, really good. Even underneath the trim, it's not rusted that bad at all compared to my old one. I'm expecting my old one, when I take the trim off, all this is going to be really, really bad. So, well, this trim can go in the garbage because it's kind of not worth anything. And then we can take apart the other one. I have all the bolts on the back of the trim taken off, so now the trim should be able to come off. This is the good trim that will go on the new wheel skirt, but I'm really surprised to see what this actually looks like underneath. Well, not as bad as I thought. This side at least. This side's all nice and solid. A little bit of crusty. But yep, here's the reason why I bought a new wheel skirt. And you know what's funny? The passenger side, the other side, is completely perfect. It doesn't look anything like this. This is way worse than I thought it was. I thought at least I guess this is what's left of the metal. Maybe this is dirt, I don't know. But I thought I had at least it connecting down to the bottom. This is almost gone. I could have lost a wheel skirt. Look at that. So, well, that's good that the trim was there, because without the trim I would have been screwed. So here's these clips that I was talking about. All the studs broke, so I'm going to have to replace all the studs, which is fine. It's just I won't get this done today because of that fact. But I have a nice collection of little clips right here that I will be able to reuse. This trim, you know what, this is what did it. You see all this dirt? In Texas, stuff only rusts out because dirt collects in between metal parts and then gets wet. It has nothing to do with salt. But yeah, that's the reason why that rocker panel rusted out. All that dirt never got out of there. But this trim, which is the better of the two, will go on the other rocker panel, and this rocker panel is garbage.